Good morning, Miss Haley.
Morning.
How are you?
Not as good as you.
Oh, I know. Sorry, I just heard an email come in. Let me mute my phone real fast. Yes, I'm live from the Scarlet Lady.
I realized I forgot to change our title, but people get the gist.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah,
Slacking today.
you are slacking. No, it's great. I'm loving Scarlet Lady. Virgin's approach to cruising is just modern. It's fresh. I'm just loving it, Haley.
I've been so jealous of all your brunch photos.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know they did brunch like this. When we talked about what do we want to see in cruising, and I said more modern things, so like brunches. So it actually worked out well. So yeah, it's great. But we'll do a full review next week when I get back. But I haven't seen Bimini. Bimini is an important part of their product.
Yeah, we need the all-inclusive feel here.
Right.
And welcome to everybody. Please let us know who you are watching right now. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you add a little dash so we know who you are because Facebook doesn't come over. Wendy says, looks like I'll need to try Virgin. Wendy, you and me both. I'm over here like looking at my calendar. I'm like, where can I squeeze this in?
It's fun. I mean, I like it when I mean it's I think they're going to do very well. I mean, there is a market for people who are willing to pay for like premium experiences and want a little bit more lively scene. So I think they're going to draw more from the premium sector or than they are from like the lower mass market just because of the price point. But I really like it.
So before we came on, Jason and I were talking about status, airline status.
That's all we talk about.
And I think Jason and I have even talked about coming up with like some one sheets because one of the things that just absolutely sucks about airline status is what can I do? What can I do? What merges with what partner? What benefits cross over? Like, I feel like there should just be a grid. Like, you know, almost like the cruise lines when they have their loyalty grid, like there's the dots. I feel like that's what we need. Sorry, my watch is talking to me.
No, you know, like free bag, like silver, priority check-in. You get it at, you know, it gold, right? Like, you know, like what you get at each level. So yeah. I that would not be a terrible thing. Did you see the points guy? We talked about that in our show, right? Did we talk about it? The points guy getting sued by American?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I believe they're countersuing American too.
Yeah. I think the points guy's gonna lose.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I think the American has a right to control like who accesses their database and like the login information. Like they have that right to determine who logs into their account. Like why are there no third-party Facebook apps? Like why are there third-party Twitter apps? Because Twitter allows it. Why are there no third-party Facebook apps? Because Facebook does not allow it.
But I also think that's a fine line too, because it also goes back to, okay, you want this for yourself, but like, what are they doing with their user information? Think about all those promotional marketing style, you know, partners from emails from our partners and.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be. I mean, I don't know. They're countersued. I mean, everyone countersues, but yeah.
I feel like you have to. If you're being sued, it's like, no. Do you know I'm going to countersue you?
I know. So yes, we were talking about airline status. So I was thinking, once you hit Diamond with Delta, you get, I think it's double everything. So it's easier to maintain Diamond like once you get to it. But you have to be flying nonstop domestically, or have to sit up front a couple times a year across the pond.
At least a couple times a year.
A couple times. Look, I mean,
like probably 4.
3 and a lot of domestic, and you
3 and a lot of domestic. But you're saying if we were splitting that down, I'd say at least 4 long haul international, or like 3 long haul international and a little mix of domestic.
Because what's the MQD for Diamond? 15,000.
MQD for platinum is 9,000, so it might be 12. Usually it goes increments of 3. Let's look.
I think it's 15. I'm going to say 15.
Let's see. You're right, 15.
So that's with the multipliers. If you spend $2,500 a pop, that's 75 round. Yeah, so I think you need at least 3 up front, or just a lot of domestic flights. Just a lot.
I mean, the downside is if that Delta Platinum card, if that could be a business card, I would have no problem.
I use mine as my business card.
But mine's tied to my LLC and
right. So even though it doesn't say business
stuff.
Right, but I put that's my business expense card. So anytime I do anything with business, I put it on that. So that's why I will hit I will easily hit the waiver for the platinum.
I know one of the things that I love about American Express with the business stuff is there's another app you can download that's called like Amex for Business, where it will match up. You can take a picture of the receipt and it will match it to it, so then you can just download them all. I am an American Express fangirl.
It's nice. I like it. I mean, I have a couple of them. I mean, I am a fan. I would be tempted to get the Delta Amex Reserve, but so many of the benefits I already get with my personal platinum card.
You know, I thought about that Reserve card too, but I don't know if it adds enough perks, because I even don't mind the annual fee if I'm getting like extra MQMs or MQDs or something. Like,
right.
I could even weigh that out because of what status gives you. You know, and I kind of had to explain this to Jeff last night because we were buying tickets for a weekend Disney cruise in September, and the main cabin price was pretty fair. It's $250 round trip. That's like a good price, I feel like, for Florida. And I booked Olivia and I one ticket, him separate, because I get that auto comfort with the platinum. And at first he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's $100 more to go to comfort." I'm like, "But you got to think about it." I'm like, 2 of the tickets, we already got the comfort. So if you take that extra 100, spread it over 3 tickets, it's not that big of a deal. You know, right. So those kind of perks are nice, especially when you're traveling with like a +1, etc.
And the card, the platinum card, gives you the companion flight once a year.
Yeah, I'll be using that for our group cruise to Alaska for Jeff.
Oh, okay. I will be using my upgrade certificates to Alaska. I cannot find a Delta one. I cannot find it.
I couldn't either. I searched through the depths. I think, although what's really funny, I'm actually going to show you this now that we're on, and then we'll get started. So my Independence cruise next month, I booked this flight home from Orlando, and you got to see the plane. You were going to die. Because I saw this, because I wasn't even really paying attention. It's a Delta One configuration plane. It's a 767 from Orlando to Atlanta.
That's a Delta One plane? That's wild. No, I want a Delta One Atlanta to Seattle. Like, that's what I want.
Ooh,
Well, it is
what's funny is that it's looking pretty dead. So look at me get a Delta One upgrade for a 40-minute flight.
Hey, take it. Well, guys, it is top of the hour, Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern time. I'm finally in Eastern time with you. We do this every Tuesday. Sorry for the casual attire. I'm coming from you live from Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. We are docked in Bimini today, so I will go experience that shortly. But even though I'm on vacation, I still have to come and do the travel show with Haley. Haley doesn't let me take any time off. So here I am. I'm Jason Poole with Cruise Planners, American Express Travel Rep. Good morning to my partner in crime, Haley. How are you?
Good morning. See, when I can't do it, I'm like, Jason, it's all you today. I'm a little more bossy on my end, though. Good morning, everybody. My name is Haley. I am the president and owner of Hospitality with a Flair, a hotel sales support company, and I'm a travel blogger most of the time, going all over cruising Europe, just like Jason. Love it all.
Love it all.
We have a lot to talk about today. So let me our first one. Make sure this is the right one. Like I said, we're a little off today. It's not pulling.
Well, I'll go ahead and start talking.
Yeah, start with the article. I don't know why we're having technical difficulties today.
The biggest news of the week, it came out Monday morning. Spirit and Frontier are doing a $6.6 billion merger, and they will combined be the 5th largest airline in the United States. So I personally can't speak to experience on Spirit or Frontier as I've not flown either of them. But I think this makes a lot of sense. So
I've done it.
You've done Frontier, right?
I've done both.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
See, here's the thing, Jason. When you're, I'm going to give you an idea here. When the outside of your house looks like this,
yeah,
you will do just about anything to get out of it. And round trip to Florida for $79 direct flight.
Right. So I think it makes sense, right? Because like there's some airlines, or some airports, I should say, where they both have coverage, right? Or they service, like Nashville. They're both in Nashville. There's a lot of the country, or even into the Caribbean and Mexico, where only one of them is there. So they are so if you're a customer of Frontier or Spirit and you like them, your options are about to just explode to give you more options to the Caribbean. So I think this makes a lot of sense. They were competing in markets like Nashville unnecessarily so, right? There's no need to compete against each other in a market like Nashville.
It's so similar and comparable. One of the very few differences is Spirit has those big upfront seats, which are like a normal first class seat that you can pay extra for. There's only 4 or 8 on a plane at a time. But the baggage policy is the same. The tit for tat pricing is the same. One of the unique things, though, I will say about Frontier is Frontier actually has their Den Club, which is $99 for the year. And you can use it for up to 5 + 6 family members. And they have special Den member only discounts.
Okay.
Usually if you buy it once, we ended up buying it because now that they have direct out of Rochester for Orlando, I'm we might go do this Disney thing with Olivia. Just fly down for the weekend, do something quick.
Right.
It pays for itself in one thing. I think it's nice. And I think it's also going to increase some competitive fares in that main cabin area.
And in a city like Nashville, which is a huge Southwest city.
Yeah.
When you have JetBlue and Frontier and Spirit not competing against each other, but together competing against the Southwest, I think we're going to see prices come down in Nashville, right? Because right. So I think it's going to be.
I think Southwest has kind of gotten away with leading in that more economy-ish range because of how many places they go. I just think this is going to be great because at the end of the day, not everybody needs 2 free check bags.
No.
Like I say, if I'm taking a quick weekend to Florida, I can pack a backpack. I have a bunch of those tutorials I do on my YouTube channel with how to pack for, 3, 4, even 5 nights in a backpack.
I can't do that, but I understand some people can, but that's not me. Well, guys, sticking on airlines, we have some other news to report. So the Wall Street Journal did their yearly airline rankings, and JetBlue ranked last in overall performance.
I was shook when I saw this title because I was just like, what? I know so many people that love it. I've liked it when I've flown it. I will say I've liked it. I'm not like, oh my God, JetBlue, but it's a good product.
I like JetBlue. I flew it in July to St. Martin, and it was a very nice experience. I've flown it nonstop to Fort Lauderdale, Nashville many times. I've liked it. But I was truly shocked by this. And so the Wall Street Journal rates this on customer satisfaction overall, percentage of delays, versus on time, departures and arrivals, just all that. There's a bunch of metrics the Wall Street Journal uses. Now, Haley, did you see what airline was number 1 in the Wall Street Journal ranking of airlines? Hashtag SkyTeam. Delta. So Delta was number 1. But yeah, I was really surprised by the JetBlue. And American was 7th, and United was 2nd or 3rd, I believe. So
yeah.
So I was really surprised by the JetBlue. But yeah, so I mean, we don't make the news, we just report the news. Well, I am excited for this news because I have been actively pricing flights to Sydney. So New Zealand and Australia are reopening. Australian citizens can finally leave and come back to the country if they are fully vaccinated. Visitors who are fully vaccinated can have to get a visa to go to Australia, but they're finally opening the doors to the rest of the world. So Australia and New Zealand both
super strict.
And super strict. You could leave the islands, but you could not come back. COVID cases were very low in these countries. When we were in lockdown, Australia was they were dancing to Chromatica at the clubs, right? When we were just sitting home.
Jason was extremely jealous.
I was look at what they're doing at the clubs in Australia. So yeah, so Australia's open to the world. I really, really want to go. It may not be this year, but I think it's going to be a next year trip. I've got to get to the South Pacific.
I think it's either going to be a 23 or 24 thing for me. I haven't decided yet.
I have to get down there. So that's exciting news there. So this next topic, there's a trend in the travel industry of a buy now, pay later. So what it is, you book a cruise, you book a resort, you book a nice hotel, and you essentially take out a loan, right?
Yeah, if you do online shopping, it's literally like a Firm or Klarna.
And you take out a loan. And so they fully pay for the vacation, and you pay back the loan with the firm. Right, you don't pay it to Carnival, you don't pay it to Norwegian, you don't pay it to Sandals, you pay it to whatever firm you used, and it's been booming. And I've had some clients do it, and it has helped some people who need a little bit more time to pay for an experience they've been wanting to do. So yeah, it's booming in the travel world.
Yeah, Uplift, I think, is one of the companies that's pretty big on the travel scene right now.
It is.
You guys, this is kind of your opportunity. So I know that, we have a lot of Royal Caribbean cruisers in our group, and Lord knows I've done my fair share. The nice thing about Royal Caribbean is that you can pay for the cruise up front, then later on add the gratuities, later on add the drink package. Which when you stack it up against some of these like celebrity sailings, for example, there's not a huge price discrepancy, but sometimes that upfront sticker price of adding indulge, all included, whatever, is kind of scary. So this could be the opportunity for you to maybe try celebrity, try a princess, try something new, and have that leniency in paying for it.
Right. So yeah, Virgin has it as well. Cruise Planners has the system. We can do it if it's a vendor that doesn't have it. So so a big trend in the industry. All right, Miss Haley. Haley always is bringing us great hotel perks, hacks, tips. Hilton right now has a great promotion. It's for February 2022. Haley, why don't you talk about this Hilton promotion?
Yeah, so from right now, I believe it's through June 1st. This is one of those things we talked about a couple weeks ago, there being like emails or just, occasionally logging into your loyalty website for hotels to register for these different promotions. Every single stay, keep in mind that's not night, every single stay, you'll get a bonus 2,500 points from, Hilton Honors. So if you have a couple weekend cruises and you have a few pre-cruise nights to book, you can do that. And you can also stack it with, if you have an American Express Platinum card, there are a lot of Hilton cashback offers to add to your Platinum card so you can save money, plus get some extra points so you can get some free stays in the future.
Love it.
Stacking.
Love stacking. Well, the last bit of news for the day, Cunard announced their new ship, Queen Anne. So they finally announced the name of their fourth ship, and it joins the other great legendary ships they have. So I'm excited to learn more about the Queen Anne. I've never done Cunard, but guys, Haley and I talk about it all.
Jane, if you're watching Group Cruise, I'm here for
Cunard. It would be a different experience, but it's one that I would really, really enjoy trying. So
did you watch the video? I watched the video.
I did not watch the video.
The inside's pretty modern. Like, I kind of was like, okay. I'm interested to see where they go, because isn't this their first ship in...
It's been a while.
And they said it's going to be the first time they'll have 4 ships sailing since 1999.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. So my clients who do Cunard just love it. So that is the news of the day. We had a lot, but we still have some other questions and topics. So Haley and I discuss all the time brand loyalty, status, what's important, what's not important, right? There are certain travel companies whose loyalty program I think is just awful, and there's some that I think are fantastic, right? And because of COVID, a lot of companies are really vying for your business, right? They're doing it, lowering the tier to hit status. Delta's lowered the amount, they not lowered the qualifications, they put in accelerators, bonuses to hit status more quickly. So, Haley, how have you personally reevaluated your brand loyalties in the travel sector?
So I think I had to sit down and redraft what was important to me when I travel. So 6 years ago, when, I was, still growing, going up the ladder, my income, was vastly different than it is now. I was looking for the most amount of cruise for the lowest price. That was a real big decision maker for me. I want the most cruise for the lowest price to new destinations if I can get it, so I can try everything and anything. Now, it's more of, I'm kind of okay cruising a little less because I want a nicer experience. And I'm also starting to cruise a little less because I'm dabbling more with land in Europe. And I tend to, do that with Asia and whatnot. So I need to make sure that loyalty points, American Express, whichever credit cards I'm using, line up with the brands that I've looked at. I mean, I've even also debated myself. I mean, I'm a SkyTeam girl. I love it. But I even thought about trying a status challenger with United. Because when I'm traveling with my family, Delta tends to be the most expensive out of the three, a vast majority of the time. And when I'm paying for 3 tickets, especially long haul, that adds up. And I'm like, man, if I use statuses to work off of, and plus, United having that cast of Star Alliance to work with,
Star Alliance is great.
If I could cheese off 2 statuses, those are things that kind of go through my mind. I used to love Southwest. When I was in that earlier phase, 2 free checked bags, that was something that was really important to me. Little did I know that, by aligning myself with a legacy carrier, I get those perks anyways now, if not more.
I could not agree more.
But, I think a lot of people kind of coming from hotel world, there's a lot of people that'll be, Marriott, we always used to roll our eyes with Hilton, Marriott, Bonvoy, and it's just Marriott Rewards prior members were the most insufferable people. Most insufferable.
I'm a gold elite member.
Awful. And then you had the Starwood people, which actually Starwood used to have the best rewards program, period. And then it got merged into this Bonvoy thing. But, if you're somebody that's not staying in a hotel a lot during the year and you're a Marriott Bonvoy loyalist, their points program is going dynamic.
Right.
Does it really behoove you now to be putting all your eggs in that basket for only a couple nights a year? It's going to take you forever potentially, especially a lot of families, because when they're traveling is during school breaks, and that's when it's the most expensive. What are your thoughts, sir?
So I pretty much agree with all that you said. When I was younger, like you, I used to do a lot of Southwest, the 2 free bags, nonstop to Florida. That's how I used to travel. I also, like you, have decided I would almost rather take fewer cruises a year and focus more on going places I've never seen before, right? Like Alaska, doing longer sailings in Europe, but going 4 days or so before to really get to spend some time on the land. I will be honest, I have come to the conclusion that for me, most cruise line loyalty programs are just kind of worthless to me. And guys, I'm Diamond Plus with Royal, and I'm Elite Plus with Celebrity. And it doesn't transfer over automatically. I have earned both statuses on both. And I do not care. I don't care. I will never flaunt I'm Elite Plus, I'm Diamond Plus. Virgin doesn't have a loyalty program yet. And I would be okay if they never had one, right? You come for the experience, not to wag.
Cruise world, that's where, there's maybe less of a need. I mean, I will say Royal did a decent job with the drinks, the diamond drinks.
Yes.
That was a great incentive and move, and I will hand that to them. But, I like kind of those fundamental travel basics that you get with an airline and a hotel. I love that I can travel and have a 75-pound weight limit in my bags. If I go somewhere and I want to bring booze home from Paris, I can do it.
Or from my bar in here that I haven't drank.
Yes. I like having that, not having to, try to cram stuff, but leave stuff home. I have that liberty. I love being able to not check out till 2 p.m.
Right.
Especially if I'm when I was with you on business, it was nice to not have to check out of my hotel until 2 p.m. when I had an evening flight to come back home.
Right. I agree. So I guess to sum it up, I think loyalty matters when it makes a tangible upgrade to your experience. Okay. So like if I sell Royal Caribbean, I'm always going to buy the drink package. So the benefits are not super tangible. Another thing wrong, the solo supplement when I travel solo is a huge perk if you're much higher up with Royal. Celebrities, perks, benefits, I just don't really care.
I like my free beard laundry though.
I guess discount on another device. So yeah, so guys, basically don't be married to a loyalty program if it's not bringing you any actual value.
Yeah,
so,
loyalty programs should be mutually beneficial. Keep that in mind.
I agree. We talk about this stuff all the time. All right, so this is a fun perk. If you have an American Express card, any American Express card, co-branded, green card, gold card, platinum, any American Express card, if your card starts with the number 37 and you're sailing on Royal Caribbean with minors, so children under 18, you can get a free soda package for every kid in the room and some vouchers for free lunch at Johnny Rockets. You have to do this through an American Express travel representative, which I am, or call the number. Well, you have to call Amex Travel if you would do that. So call the number on the back of your card. So that's just a great way to save money if you're sailing Royal Caribbean with kids and have an American Express card. It's not a promotion. It's just a perk. It's called Destination Family. So I add it to client reservations all the time. And they're really excited. They don't have to spend money on getting their kids a soda package.
That is great. Well, we have a question of the day, and I love this one. We've talked about it before, but I think it's something, honestly, we could at least bring up once a quarter as a refresher. Linsey wants to know what's appropriate for additional tipping beyond the gratuities that are included in your room and at bars. So if you think about who the gratuities you pay, $14.50 per person per day, roughly, right? $14.50 times 7 is $100, $101.50. And that gets divided amongst 3-4 people.
Right. Yep.
Personally, with the way that you are taken care of on a cruise, I personally don't think that's enough.
I agree.
That's why at the beginning of all my cruises, I tip a chunk in the beginning to my room attendant, and I give him or her more at the end.
Right.
Just kind of to set that expectation, be like, we're going to have a good cruise. Like, you're not going to get stiffed by me. Like, just to, TIP stands for to ensure prompt service. I've said that over and over again. We probably bring about $50 for like bar tipping throughout the week at least. Just to throw like a little money on like those servers that are going around the hot tub area, those kind of things. What is your best practice on that?
So I mean, I kind of think if someone does just like for a week, for a week sailing, if you're in Aqua class, I usually do at least $50 extra for a room attendant. For the longer sailing, I've done 100 if they just like really go above and beyond. If I'm in a suite, I often tip the butler. Like on this cruise, I have a room attendant and I have a rockstar agent. The rockstar agent is a butler, and she's actually been really, really good. So I'll tip her extra. I've never done the tip early thing. I've often felt like I was trying to like give a dog a treat with that kind. I don't know. I just, that's my personal preference. I've never done it early. But yes, I think if you are fortunate enough to be sailing in something like Aqua class, Linsey, and they've gone so long, they went so long without working, really gaining a lot of money. If you're fortunate enough to pay thousands of dollars, $100 is nothing. Now, for bars, I do often, like day one, I'll throw like $20 down at the bar, midweek another 20, and then at the end of the cruise, I'll throw $50 down. It's not that they just like, I walk up and they just go, Hendrix, stirred, dry, cucumber. Like, okay, you get a little extra cash. So I tend to err on the side of over tipping. When I'm in the States, remember, outside the country, that's considered rude. But in the States, I tend to err on the side of over tipping. So great question.
And that is something that's truly unique too. Like, and I mean, I've not been to Europe a few times, just like you. Wink, wink.
Right.
And it's still really hard to get used to when I'm over there because I'm like, oh, they were so great though.
I know. I agree.
I have. And then we have our group cruise in Alaska. So
Yes.
if you're interested, there's still space available. Jason got a few more group rooms because we used the initial amount.
We did.
So keep an eye out for that. If you guys want to be a featured travel question like Linsey was this week, or you want to get all the best travel tips and ask questions, join Today in Travel live. That's going to take you to our Facebook group. We would love to have you. And then here's the announcement. You heard it here first. Next week, we have a guest.
Wow. Is it someone on the sailing with me? Oh, it is.
It is. So next week, bring your airline and travel questions. We will cover a couple news topics, but this is going to be an open forum debating airline status, best perks, best practices. This is going to be a head-to-head from people that come from vastly different realms of travel.
Yep. And Mr. Jarvis is with me on Virgin. He has some different opinions about some things on board than I do. So we'll talk about Virgin next week and about how there are things I like better than Mr. Jarvis. There's things Mr. Jarvis likes better than me. So we will discuss that in detail next time.
And unafraid.
As we say, I don't make the news. I just report the news. So guys, it is time for me to go get a drink and go get in the sun and get off this ship. Haley, thank you as always, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.